In the last 24 hours, U.S. Central Command has unleashed a firestorm on Iran's coastline. Command centers reduced to rubble. Missile and drone launch sites obliterated. Air defense systems wiped off the map. This new offensive isn't just degrading what's left of Iran's firepower, it's driving back their ability to project power mile by mile until nothing is left standing close enough to threaten the strait. Mass explosions were reported in Sirik, Bandar Abbas, and Qeshm Island, all critical coastal choke points along the Strait of Hormuz. This follows earlier strikes that really set this new phase in motion. A 90-minute wave of precision strikes against Greater Tum Island, a strategic outpost Iran seized from the UAE back in 1971, hitting coastal defense systems and cruise missile storage and launch sites. And around the same time, we saw perhaps the most insane moment in this conflict. U.S. forces deployed Saronic Corsair unmanned surface vessels in combat for the very first time ever, striking a submarine and ship maintenance facility at Bandar Abbas on Iran's coast. That's not a symbolic hit. That's the U.S. Navy debuting an entirely new class of weapon, literally Terminator-style weapons against Iran's naval infrastructure, never seen before and with devastating effect. And now, the key target that military analysts are keeping their eye on is Pickaxe Mountain. This is the big one. So after Operation Midnight Hammer obliterated Iran's three main nuclear sites, Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, Israeli intelligence now believes Iran quietly moved thousands of advanced centrifuges into a granite fortress buried as much as, we're talking hundreds upon hundreds of feet under a mountain known as Pickaxe Mountain, just a couple of miles from Natanz. Iran spent years reinforcing the site specifically because they knew their above-ground facilities were vulnerable. Did you know that U.S. life expectancy peaked at 78 years back in 2014? Scientists have discovered that kimchi actually slows the aging process of human cells. And now you can get all the benefits of kimchi in a simple capsule with Kimchi One. Give them a call right now at 888-597-0233. Remember, if you call them, you get 50% off plus free shipping. That's 888-597-0233. The U.S. enforced naval blockade remains in full force, and it's cutting Iran off from close to $500 million a day in oil revenue. Despite Iran's best efforts to shut the strait down completely, U.S. forces have helped facilitate the transit of roughly 900 commercial vessels and 450 million barrels of crude oil since early May. More than 50,000 American troops remain in theater to keep that flow moving, and every barrel that gets diverted through American-controlled routes is a barrel Iran doesn't get paid for, while U.S. exporters like West Texas Crude get richer by the day. This is the pincer move. This is the vice grip that U.S. forces have imprisoned Iran with. And it's all designed to forever erase Iran's sole trump card, their one point of leverage that they've used against the international oil trade for 47 years. The mere threat of shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil flows through. That threat alone was enough to get the entire international community to give Iran whatever it wanted. That threat is now being rendered completely and forever inert. Every time Iran threatens the strait, their military and infrastructure is bombarded, all the while their economy is cut off from $500 million a day in oil exports by a U.S.-led blockade, which in turn fractures the regime from within. In other words, their one trump card only ends up destroying them. Iran's own former presidential advisor, Masoud Nili, admitted publicly that their economy was, quote, breaking open. The Iranian rial has collapsed roughly 260% in value since October 2023, and outside estimates now put inflation well above 100%, with some figures citing it as high as 180%. One state-aligned Iranian commentator admitted on state television that the Americans have put them in a vicious cycle and they are slow boiling us like a frog.